The Asogba of Asaba, Professor Chike Dozien, has commended the Delta State Governor Dr. Emmanuel Uduaghan for successfully implementing his 3-point agenda in the state. The Asogba, who made the remark after inspecting the international airport in Asaba, the new government house project and the new central hospital project, described the progress made so far as very impressive. The royal father said the projects are timely, concrete and people-oriented. He said the provision of an international airport is one of the best things that has happened to the state since its creation. The Asogba said the airport will open the gateway to economic boom and called for the construction of an international market in Asaba to complement the airport.
So I'm really happy that we have the opportunity once again to come and visit the airport and see what progress is being made. We saw this airport under construction some months ago, but since then, as I pass along the expressway to Benin, I was wondering because I was not seeing much activity. So now I know why I have not been seeing much activity. The work has been going on, but work has been going on internally, which we cannot see from outside. So we're very proud of this airport. We commend His Excellency for thinking about it and for putting up this international airport in Asaba. And I'm happy that from what I'm hearing, that it's not only in Asaba and in Delta State that we are recognizing his good work, but that even in Abuja, we are thinking of getting him to replicate in this national capital what he is doing here in Asaba. I think eventually we will come to see that this airport will be one of the greatest investments the state has made in Delta State. Because it's not only for carrying passengers, say, carrying cargo, and it's going to spin off a lot of other activities and businesses.
The contractor, Chief Uche Okpuno, reiterated Dr. Uduaghan's promise that the airport will soon be put to use.
Everything we need to do to install at this airport is already on ground here.
The traditional ruler, who is also a foremost medical doctor, also inspected the new central hospital project, which is almost completed. Professor Dozien said the project is a befitting legacy that will meet the expectation of all in the state capital and beyond. He, however, stressed the need for the hospital to be equipped with ultramodern equipment and to provide services that are accessible and affordable.
I'm really impressed with the progress made so far. And looking from here, I can see that the quality of the buildings is excellent. And so I commend the Ministry of Health, the government, and the contractors. We hope that when the buildings are completed, that the equipment will match on quality the buildings.
The Asogba of Asaba also inspected the new state government house project, which he said is befitting for a state like Delta. The traditional ruler, who made some observations, commended the governor for his commitment to develop the entire state, especially the capital, Asaba. He said the people of Asaba are proud to associate with the developmental efforts of the governor and promised that they will give him the necessary support to do more for the people.
We thank him for all his good works. We commend him and we stand behind him. So we wish him more successes. We are proud of what he has brought to Delta State, and we wish him the best for the future.
We are very impressed with what we have seen, and we wish him well, and we wish him every progress, good health, good fortune, and every success, and the support of all Deltans, so that I can do more.
Right from the government house to hospital to this place, and my Argo has spoken all. So thank you very much.
When government has a project and announces that it has a project, invariably there is some air of disillusionment and unbelief among the populace because of the way many programs have been handled. But coming to this place now, we have seen that this is a different type of project. It's moving. When you are on the highway, you will never know that something is happening there. Having come here, I am convinced that we are going to take the words of the consultant without a pinch of salt. And by a few months' time, before the end of this year, Argo will fly from this airport.
Also, it is common knowledge that Delta State government is the only sub-regional government in Africa to key into the climate change program, and also the first state in sub-Saharan Africa to formulate a program on climate change. This is solely due to the efforts of the state governor, Dr. Emmanuel Udua, who made several presentations at the Global Governors Meeting in Los Angeles, USA, and the Global Climate Change Meeting in Denmark. Due to his efforts, the state was admitted into the Territorial Area Change Program of United Nations Development Program alongside states from Brazil, Canada, and India. At the recent Low Carbon Economy and Climate Change Stakeholders Forum in Delta State, Dr. Udua re-echoed his call on oil multinationals to adopt environment-friendly methods in their operations. The governor reiterated his determination to check environmental devastation, pollution and degradation, which is detrimental to the health and economic life of the people.
From only farming and fishing, we were assured of 3 square meals in a day. But today, what is the story? That land probably used to farm, probably polluted. If you go to the river, of course you cannot even see the river, not to talk about looking for the fish. If you use net or otherwise, if you are lucky, you might get some very rare species of fish. Most times the net will come out empty. Why? Because that water is also heavily polluted. And what is the consequence? People even have difficulty in feeding themselves in the villages. And when they cannot feed themselves, they become hungry. And when you are hungry, you are angry. And when you are angry, you are violent. We'll be talking about the Niger Delta crisis. The major cause of Niger Delta crisis is that there's severe and serious environmental pollution. And we need to deal with it. So the time for climate change is now.
He promised to push for enabling laws and promote adequate awareness and sensitization to ensure that all developmental activities are driven along green and low carbon paths to limit the risk from climate change. The former Minister of Environment, the former Minister of State, Minister of Petroleum Resources, Professor Ayobami Salami, and the oil companies operating in the state, Dr. Newton Jibono, ambassadors and other stakeholders spoke at the forum.
As a result of the peculiar geographical location of the state with its abundant oil resources, we have suffered some deleterious effects or unintended consequences due to oil exploration and exploitation.
States in the Niger Delta region and those along the coast are already faced with environmental challenges that have the tendency of multiplying the deficiencies in state governance and therefore limit their capacity to actively deliver on dividends of good governance. This then calls for greater awareness at the grassroots level of collaborative efforts and involvement in adaptation measures that will ameliorate the impacts of climate change.
Other countries like us who export crude oil, though we imbibe and accept the imperatives of climate change and the need for carbon reduction in order to create a sustainable environment. Indeed, this is all about sustainability. We need to ensure that we exploit our resources in a way to ensure that future generations can also enjoy our planet.
Climate change is the preeminent geopolitical and economic issue of the 21st century. It rewrites the global equation
for development, for peace, and for prosperity. Everything hinges on it.
The efforts of Dr. Duan have started yielding results as the foreign delegation of the UNDP climate change experts from the United Nations headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland, arrived the state for the first technical section on the UNDP territorial approach to climate change. Their mission to the state, they disclosed, was to commence an action plan on climate change to be presented at the Global Forum slated for Los Angeles in September. The UNDP Strategic Advisor on Climate Change in Nigeria, Professor Demola Salawu, said they are in the state to drive further Dr. Duan's commitment to sustainable development utilizing climate change approaches.
They have decided that it's very, very important and that this developing nation should be, as part of the convention, should be helped in terms of coming to terms with climate change, particularly in the area of adaptation.
Lending their voices to the territorial approach to climate change, Mr. Christopher Nuttall and two other foreign experts said the clean environment mechanisms must be put to work as in industrialized countries provide funds to buy carbon credits from developing countries being polluted by their economic activities. They lamented the slow response of African governments towards benefiting from the initiative, but hailed the Delta State governor for driving the climate change revolution to fast-track development.
It is leaders like your governor who is really serious about it. He goes to Los Angeles, he goes to Copenhagen, he goes to Paris, etc., in order to say, we are serious about it. And we want you, the UN, you national government, to put in the next Kyoto 2 protocol, or whatever it will be called, the recognition of sub-national level. Because we believe this is where the action is going to be taken.
Addressing this section, the State Deputy Governor, Professor Amos Utoma, SAN, emphasized that environmental degradation arising from activities of oil exploration is breeding poverty and perennial flooding in the state. He called for increased efforts by the UNDP to help restore the self-replenishing capabilities of the environment in the polluted Niger Delta region.
I want to really thank you, UNDP, for recognizing this and for setting to be used. Climate change is causing poverty as a result of droughts and even by flooding.
An interactive session was also held to evolve ways to consolidate on the state's leadership position on climate change. As a largely riverine and oil-producing state, Delta is vulnerable to effects of climate change. That is why the state governor, Dr. Duan, has identified critical issues and approaches in the course of a series of consultations with international development partners, and is taking a systematic but structured process towards a green economy state using climate change and sustainable development.